Hi everybody, welcome to the Tomb of Illumination. I've changed my name from Flat Earth Philosophy. It's not getting out there because of that word Flat Earth. So I've changed to that. So I'll be exposing a lot of stuff that's never been revealed before to man, in this cycle of man anyway. And it's a good name to describe the earth we live in, the realm we live in. So what's prompted this video is a lot of people aren't getting it. They're thinking I'm way too advanced for flat earthers, for beginners to understand. So I've brought it right back to the basics. So you can't come to me and say you don't understand if you put your mind to this. Your problem is transitioning from all that indoctrinated crap to reality. That's not my problem. I'm just going to show you reality. You have to start thinking. Now, what I'll do is I'll show it the way it's happening here, but then after I've explained it, I'll take the camera off the tripod and get a bit closer in case you want some close-up images, because a lot of people just use their phones. You young dudes, you don't get on the laptop. You need a bigger view. So, it's all very mind-blowing for people who know nothing about it, but it's really awesome when you come to understand it and understand our reality in the physical world, of its duality, male and female, which has been separated from singularity, the place of creation. We come from a place where we are one, and we go back to this place that's one. But in this realm we're in now, we're separated, the male and the female. Plenty of dualities to talk about. You know, there's certain people who deny there's duality. Of course there's flipping duality. He starts talking about singularity, where it's all come from, but we're in this physical world. We need to talk about it, but you need to understand what it is back from where we come from and where we're going to. If you understand those two aspects, you get to appreciate more of what's going on here. So, first you have to understand the model of the world, our earth, our flat earth. It's flat, fixed and stationary, because it comes from the place of rest. And it all begins in a vortex. And explained in our physical world as wind. The four winds of the world converge at the Arctic centre, and those spinning winds create this vortex. We can't get into that zone though. It's above the Arctic centre, and it's created a frequency, a resonating frequency that is perfection. That perfection has created the whole earthly realm. And everything in this world is all based on frequencies, resonating frequencies. The right resonant frequency for everything. And it all comes out of the centre here, which is a vortex, which is part of a total hyperboloid, if you want to take the bottom of the earth into it. But this is our realm above here. This is all we need to concentrate on, the upper part of the hyperboloid, which is expressed out to create a toroidal field. We exist inside the toroidal field. Okay? In the toroidal field, go look up toroidal field, what it looks like. Then you start to understand what science is bamboozling you with, calling it general relativity, calls the curving magnetic fields of Earth's torus curve linear. And they go up and create their coordinate system with all these curved fields, magnetic curving fields. This is why they say flat earth can't create a map, because of all these curving fields. But you have to understand the magnetic field of Earth are curved laterally and vertically as a wave. Everything is a wave. So imagine a wave. You know, it falls down like this as it moves along. It's like that. But because it's curved laterally, we get that this is it. The magnetic field lines on Earth are curved like this, laterally. And we exist in the ether, in this magnetic flux over the flat Earth. So everything in this flux expands out from its centre. So as we move from the centre south, everything is expanding. Get that in your heads. Because we're not physical, we're based on resonating frequencies, vibrating so fast you cannot be. Things look solid due to our chip in our head. It's just the realm we live in. So as we move southward, we expand in the field. So you have to understand, looking down on Earth, it would look like this because it's smaller and expands outward. But then if we take a slice, it would look like this, but it's appearing all equal. So that's because it's relative to you in your position. I've taken a slice. If you were there, it would be like that if you could look through the whole slice of Earth. But from somewhere else, it's all relative to your perspective. So if you're out here, everything's all around you like this. But looking down on a whole, there's the two. It's expanding field. Okay? So the magnetic fields swing out of the north from the Arctic centre, place of creation. So this is the northern sky flat. That's Polaris in the centre. It's a northern sky rotating around there. But because of all the moisture in our atmosphere and system, that image up here can be parabolically reflected out to the south. They are the same stars. There's no extra stars out here than there is in here, which come from down inside the vortex. But they're all shown differently out there due to the expansion, the weaker field, and an overlay of the Milky Way. And that's what I forgot to draw in this flippin' picture, is a Milky Way. The Milky Way is like an umbilical cord. It comes from here straight into there, like this. And this is what I explained further down here. We'll get back to that later. So that's one. We'll go on to two. Electrons are waves, but the human eye creates the image of what is known as a particle, which is more or less the photon. The actual sun of creation is unseen plasma, but the image is the sun we see as a photon, a particle. Just for an example, so back here at the end of the Milky Way is the real creation, the real sun, the real plasma, which is unseen, but we get the image out here as the photon, as a sun. It's not real. Nothing's physical up here. Nothing's physical above us at all. The firmament is not physical. It's based on pressure. This is like a big lens up here because of all the moisture in the atmosphere. Okay? The big field of reflecting light due to the moisture, which creates mirroring effects, lensing. Let's go on to three. We sorted that one out. Three. The ecliptic plane is the wave of diminishing energy. So it's from there outward. It's diminishing energy. I didn't draw an ecliptic plane, did I? But imagine a circle. We know what the ecliptic plane looks like. Of diminishing energy, all of which have their own photon of their respective energy strength, which is the image of the planet, right? In each layer. Energy strength slash frequency. In the physical world, it is also bands of pressure. This is as we go up in the atmosphere. So imagine the circle ecliptic plane then tilted on its side. if you could line them all up like this. We'll get over to that in a minute. The physical world, it is also bands of pressure and elements, e.g. inert gases, times 6, represent the 6 wandering stars. That includes the sun at the top. There they are there. We'll get back to that, go back to that in a minute. The 6 wandering stars. The moon is the divided entity of the sun. That's the male aspect. The moon is the feminine aspect of our dual physical world. It is separated at birth, as we are, as male and female. It's as above, so below, remember guys. In the physical world, the planets sit between the sun and the moon. Then we come over here. But the moon moves back and forth over the planets / over the ecliptic plane, basically feeding her children, as we do down here. The mother takes care of them. She moves in and out. To and from the sun, which is placed at the centre of the ecliptic circle, the racetrack. The sun is placed at the centre of the ecliptic race course circular track, or up at the top in our gaseous pressure layered atmosphere. Beyond the atmosphere probably, no doubt. So this is what the pyramids are all about. There's the step pyramid, the sun, or the great pyramid, Khufu, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. They're all frequency bands and pressure layers in the atmosphere. Each of these bodies we see are the photons that come from us for signs. They're signs, because back in the metaphysical world you can't see anything. There's nothing there. It's not physical. Our whole realm comes from a thought. All shrinks back to singularity, the place of nothingness. So we've got the moon down here, we've got the sun there. They are separated, just as we are, male and female, in this physical duality. We look through the light spectrum, all through all the frequency zones, to see the sun. The sun holds all the frequencies. If you took one of these out, you get a solar, the moon goes black. The sun goes black because it needs all the frequencies. The moon gives 1/7. That's another story. So it's understanding the atmospheric layers, looking through the light spectrum of these layers to see the sun, which is always at the top. We do not see the moon through the light spectrum. That's why it's got no colour. It's dull. But it's self-illuminating. That's getting into quantum mechanics and stuff. Electrons, but then you have to go back to the waves and understand all that. This is the metaphorical representation, but in reality, if we can call it that, it is flat and as a pancake. Flat as a pancake. This, as is the black hole at its centre. See, you've just squashed this dead flat, and that's your ecliptic plane, and in the centre is the black hole. There's nothing popping out each side. It's just the black hole of nothingness. Like that. What have we got here? Man has his own individual arc of horizon. His one and only image of an infinite cycle of images. So imagine one of these is one of these, and you're seeing north and south. You're on this meridian. You get one view, an image of the sun and all the planets or whatever. But the sun is anywhere on these magnetic fields. See, they're mirrored. That field is mirrored with that field. The sun is anywhere on there, but you'll only see one photon image in your arc of horizon. The sun is in many places but only seen in one, in man's personal arc of horizon. It's based on his pupils as to why he sees these photons. That little pupil, put that up, put your fingers up to the sun. Yeah, not much bigger than your pupil. It's all to do with the silicon chip, or that chip that's in your brain called the pineal gland. Now the pineal, this is where we see our sun, right? In the tropical zone. Well, there's two hemispheres, the northern hemisphere, there, tropical zone, south. Well, man has his son of man. His pineal gland sits in this region, in his brain, between the two hemispheres. All this understanding flat earth is about waking up the human mind, evolving consciously. Over time we've evolved consciously, hardly physically, no, not the body. We weren't monkeys. Understand that. What follows understanding this is the magic in the brain, waking up. It's the whole religious story. It's about waking up the brain, becoming a Jesus. It's called enlightenment. And it's all through a method here. All in here. But I'm working on that. Working on it. That's going to be in a book. So, that's the basics. Understanding these fields are all around. This magnetic field's all the way around here. You'll only see one. You only get one image of whatever's in here. Okay, this is nature. I think I've explained enough. Don't believe a word they tell you, these Egyptologists. They haven't a flippin' clue what they're talking about, whether it be down at your local museum or in Egypt. I know everything about what the Egyptians have left us. I'll start breaking down the book I'm reading too soon. What else can I say? Understanding the waves. Everything's a wave. Frequency waves. And it's to do with moisture. This is why all the ancient philosophical stories talk about the waters. Water. Ships. Solar boats. All that stuff. Because it's all to do with up here. It's all about what's happening up here in the metaphysical world. Not down here in our physical world. We know what's going on down here. We're the dummies living in it. But we don't know what's happening up here. This is why it's all written. This is ancient philosophy. Men that have come from the tomb of illumination. While I'm here. Oh, well, I'll take the camera off now. Come a bit closer for you guys, some of you guys. Understanding these images. Okay. This is the flat earth model. Not the stupid single dome like they're drawing here. That's the arc of horizon. That's man's perspective. That's not the earth. Understanding this. One, two, three, my map. This is the basic. This is the Mercator map. Nice all depiction of the world. Mercator map. Look, all the arcs of longitude all parallel. because it's all relative to the observer in that latitude. It's the same distance down there as it up top when you're travelling east to west. You've expanded in the field, but the Earth stays fixed and stationary. It does not expand. You're expanding, so you're getting across it quicker. If you're getting across it quicker, you're making up time, which will equate to the time travelled in the northern hemisphere. This is why you have to understand the Mercator map in conjunction with the expanding Gleason map. Okay? So when you're drawing a Gleason map, obviously the continents have to look all stretched out to relate to the arcs of longitude. But that's just an overall view looking down on the plan. But you know, when you're in that place, you revert back to this, because this is all relative to the observer. But on a whole, the Gleason map is showing you the expanding field. Okay guys, share this video. Remember my name now, that's what I call myself. Thumbs up if you like it. If you've got requests that you need something really explained a little bit further, I can think about it. If it's worth making a video, I'll do it for you. But that's the basics, everyone. Understanding the flat earth model. It's not just one dome like that with the sun going around like that. That's just garbage. This is the model. There's the model. Put the sun there, northern hemisphere in here, southern hemisphere out there, and you're going to have to create two suns, because they're doing this. They're doing this. But in your perspective, your arc of horizon, you just see it go over like this. This is why the sun never changes shape or size, because it's all perpendicular to your arc of horizon. Coming back to you, you are always zenith, 90 degrees to zenith. You stand there at all times. You move, the whole thing moves with you. Rise up, Daniel, you will see further. Rise up, your horizon stretches. You see further. They don't leave messages like that in ancient philosophy because they know you're too dumb to know if you walked up a mountain you'd see further. No, it's a bit deeper than that. You have to think a bit deeper. That's what religion's all about. And most people can't think deep, so they just take it literally and get this stupid drongo image in their head and go with it. It pays to go back and check out my Euclidean video on Euclid's 5 postulates. He's talking about this arc of horizon. I've put in the video how it all works with celestial navigation. Check it out. There's lots of things that common man does not know I'm exposing. One is the Euclid 5th postulate. The other one is the Plato's unequal divided line. Scholars have interpreted that totally wrong. It's to do with the flat earth, the magnetic cycle. Check out my magnetic cycle of phi, etc. I've explained it all. So, you won't get this anywhere else, guys. So share it, get it out there. Let's not let the algorithm shut us down, or the freak Mason elites stop the truth from getting out. Cheers, guys.